Pip Whitting, Director, Reynolds Conservation. Doing this project here at the bandstand at the Botanical Gardens, Birmingham. Well, we'll have site set up first, which will be getting our container into the car park, and then we'll be setting up a perimeter fence around the bandstand, and then our first job will be setting up the scaffold to get access to the roof, to replace all of the slates on the roof, and doing any pointing and the reglazing work that we're going to be doing at the back of the bandstand. The joinery, we'll be taking some of it back to the shop to replicate some of the mouldings, and then bringing it on site, and all the fitting then, refitting will be done here obviously. But just to get the right mouldings, we'll be taking them back to the shops and that. I think that we're going to be shot blasting the metal work and that. I think that's the only way that we can get all of the residual paint off it. And there'll be some work on all of the brickwork around the base here as well. But some of these posts have rotted away, so we're going to have to replace them in their entirety. So yeah, there's a lot of work to be done. Some of it will be a bit unknown until we've actually started to get away the paint and revealing all the horrors, or not, as the case may be. And as an example, this would be one of them where the paint has flaked away, and we'll be using breathable paints, won't we? When the paint has come off, you can see that it has retained all of the moisture within the timber and rotted it away. So things like this you don't really know until you've started to take the paint away. So we'll be checking all of the woodwork, and traditionally the weakest points are on these joints here as well, where there's tenons going into mortise joints. So I'm expecting to find a few more horrific areas of rot there. So we're prepared though. So I mean, most projects do have this degree of detective work, and then sourcing materials, then having to make pieces, because there may not be cutters that we have these days that would have made these. These would have all been made handmade and that. So there's an element of having to replicate features that aren't readily available now. So we do those all, as I say, back at our workshop, where our joiners and carpenters will make the same mouldings. It has the same, I mean, with all the historic buildings and that, there's obviously work that's been done to them in the duration of its life, and you have to sort of find out what has been done and whether it's been done properly, and those are we're having to dig back to make sure that you're putting it back all correctly, and so it'll last another, well, outlive us all. It is, yeah, very much so. Typically in the 70s and the 60s, where they don't have this, they didn't have access to the same products, or the products that they had access to weren't the correct ones to be using. And I think they didn't really have the knowledge that we have now, and the resources that we can. You were talking about dating paintwork and things, I don't think that would have been the case in the 1960s and 70s. So hopefully we can make a better job of it and see more longevity of the works that we do.
I am Nick from Reynolds Conservation. I'm a director. I've been from the company from day one. We're here today at Botanical Gardens in Birmingham. We've got an interesting project on, which is renovation of the bandstand. It's quite a complex job, and there's going to be some unknowns, and there is interesting things to come with it. The project's hopefully going to be finished by Christmas 2020. There's going to be quite a bit of historical work with this project, like lime mortar. So they'll be raking out lime mortar, repointing with lime mortar, and we'll have to cover up because winter is on the horizon. So we're using Hessian and proper methods to protect it against any frost that may occur. And we will have to do something with the paint as well because of winter coming. So we'll probably have to wrap that. So we're thinking of the scaffolding, probably net it and make it look pretty while we're working here.